are now listening to Lauer Road Radio.
Hey, welcome one and all to the #1 podcast, winter, spring, and fall. Talking sports for the thrill of it all. Hey, talking life, but we're killing it all. Jason and Dan with the master plan. These are dangerous men with the mic in the hand. Ha. Bonafide winners everywhere that we go. You're a part of the team.
Lauer Radio.
Dad light, Doug light, bright lights in sight. All right. What? Dad light, Doug light, bright lights in sight. All right. Yeah. Dad light, Doug light, bright lights in sight. All right. Bonafide winners everywhere that we go. You're a part of the team.
Lauer Radio.
Let's get it.
What?
At Tanagra, when the walls fell, this is Dan Owings coming at you another time for Lauer Road Radio with my co-host, as always, Jason.
Yeah.
He's to my right, stage left. Jesse's here doing whatever Jesse does.
What up?
Preston is in Flo Rida. Flo Rida.
Flo Rida.
Flo Rida.
He went to go see the hurricane.
Did you know that rapper's name, Flo Rida, is Florida? Like, it's just another... Yeah. I found that out like a week ago.
That's it. You say that like everyone should have known it. It took me a long time.
Yeah.
One day I was just like, I looked at an album. I was like,
How often do you look at Flo Rida albums?
Well, now, never.
Okay.
But when I was in high school...
You liked Flo Rida?
Flo Rida?
Mm-hmm.
Flo Rida? He was pretty good.
Isn't there like Georgia State Line or something?
And
Or what's
Florida-Georgia line?
Florida-Georgia Line? That's another one.
I thought that was the Georgia-Florida football game. What do they call that? I don't know. Stella's on the ones and zeros, and we're off and running. I didn't even start the timer. It doesn't matter. Life is good, or it's not. Whatever.
So how are you doing today?
I mean, that's not what I told you.
Okay.
That's not what I said.
Okay,
I
I'm
said
sorry.
I was going to say.
I thought you said...
No.
Okay. Do it over.
I'm telling you, the level of professionalism around here is just, it's just
sorry.
hard.
I was talking to Jesse. Jesse, how are you doing today?
I'm great.
Okay.
I'm wonderful.
Well, if I'm being honest with you, Jason.
Yeah.
Earlier, it was one of those, I just wasn't having a good day, I was just kind of down.
You wasn't, but now you is.
And I was looking for something to pick me up. I was,
Yeah.
I was just having a bad day,
Yeah. Was it today or yesterday?
What happened?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you for asking, Jesse.
Was this today or yesterday?
It's today.
Okay.
I mean, it's just, I don't know.
The show
it was
happened.
mostly just, it was mostly Erica.
I could have guessed it.
She was like, all day, she was like, why don't you pick up your shoes? Why are you giving the kids cigarettes? Like, why did you, get, build up $10,000 in gambling debt? Like, she just wouldn't, shut up all day. I'm like, gosh,
I get it.
nag much?
Yeah.
It was just one of those days.
Why do we have so much gambling debt?
I know. And I was like, it is what it is, but I'm going to strike rich, baby.
Why can't we afford groceries?
I'm like, listen, if we double down on Sacramento in the second half on this preseason
on the over-under
game, it's all gonna pay
It's going
off.
to pay out. Yeah.
Turns out it didn't. I thought Mitch Richmond still played for them. That was my mistake. I thought he was still on the team.
It's only been 25 years.
At least. It might, honestly.
Might be 35 years.
Might be talking. Mitch Richmond was good, though.
He's
He was pretty good.
for Sacramento.
Today, if he played today, this is not a sports show, but if he played today, he would have a lot more three-pointers because the game is different than it was. Are you kidding?
He could have shot three-pointers back
Mark
then.
Price would have been Stephen Curry today. The
No,
game
he
is
wouldn't
different.
have.
Yes. We're not going to talk it. That's not he would have been, first of all. He had a higher free throw. He has a higher free throw percentage.
Okay.
Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Pistol Pete would have been.
Listen, Pistol Pete, don't even get me started. He averaged like 50 points a game in college without a three-point line.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone went back and did the math and looked at all of his shots and where they were from, and they were like, "Yeah, he would have been."
Yeah,
the
and
leading
if
scorer.
it was a three-point line, he'd have just stepped back a few times.
Yeah.
He's the greatest scorer
Pistol
of all
Pete's
time.
and
he's
the best
GOAT.
ball handler of all time too.
Well, he's not the best ball handler. This is not a sports show. I was having a bad day. So you had a bad day. It was just one of those days. You know what I mean? And I was like, I'm walking. It was before I went to Meyer.
I heard you had a bad day yesterday.
Did I?
Or 2 days ago?
Tuesday.
Oh, yeah, I actually did. We could talk, I'm going to talk about that later.
Okay. Sorry.
But
all those things you told me to ask you, I forgot.
I know. Jesse actually remembered. He's more professional than you.
For once. You're welcome.
It's like we want the show to feel organic.
Yeah. It's
As
this is
opposed
organic.
to-
If we're not organic, I don't know what we are because we're not professional.
We're authentic.
Are we?
Yes. There's
I
nothing
think
more authentic than us.
Really?
Yeah. We're very authentic.
So I was looking for a pick me up,
Yeah.
right? And I was looking at what's gonna like just turn my day around. And so I said, you know what? I'll get on Facebook and I'll post that KFC is better than Chick-fil-A.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll just make that a post. And then I can just sit back, put my feet up and just watch all the comments come in. And it really made me feel good. Like it made me happy. Now, here's what happened. Erica and I, we were out running errands and she was going on about giving the kids cigarettes and the gambling debts and all of that stuff. Yeah. And so we stopped at the gas station because I needed Abby needed a pack, but
Newport menthols in a box.
yeah, that's her brand.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna. I mean, Jesse was going on and on the other day about the advantages of nicotine, and I was like, I guess I should be giving my kids nicotine.
I'm all nicked up right now.
He is nicked up right now.
I'm nicked up too.
Stella? Nope.
So anyway,
She needs to be nicked up.
and it was just one of those days where it's just like, boy, the whole day has gone by, and I've been so busy, I haven't had a chance to eat. So we stopped at the gas station, and right across the street is KFC. And I said, let's just go to KFC. She said, okay. So I got a chicken sandwich, their chicken sandwich at KFC. She got the spicy one, and I just got the regular chicken sandwich. And I'm eating it. I told Erica, I was like, this is better than Chick-fil-A's chicken sandwich. It is. It is. I like Chick-fil-A's. We've been over this.
I'm
It's
not
fine.
a huge Chick-fil-A
But
fan.
I'm like, this is better than Chick-fil-A sandwich. So I pulled out my phone. I said, KFC greater than
Chick-fil-A.
I said, hot take. And
People went nuts.
You know it's a hot post. Like, the post is hot when it gets more comments than likes.
Yeah.
That's how you know.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people liked it, but the comments like rolled in. My favorite of which was Logan Lish that says, Logan Lish, friend of the show. Boy, there's so many to scroll through. Logan Lish said, I see you woke up this morning and chose violence. That's what he said. So
It's a good thing
comments,
I'm not on Facebook anymore.
Yeah.
I would have ripped you
A lot of
apart.
GIFs.
Did you see Gideon's picture holding the KFC bucket?
Was that Gideon?
That's Gideon.
Oh, I saw that picture, but I didn't know that was Gideon.
Yeah, that's Gideon.
Oh, that's funny.
I thought it was Teddy.
Stop.
That's funny.
So we got KFC for his birthday.
Uh-huh.
It was Gideon's birthday, so we get fried chicken. And so we got KFC, and I wanted to get a picture of him holding the bucket, and
Yeah.
I was going to tag KFC on
No, that's
Twitter.
a great picture.
It is a great picture. Guess what?
What?
KFC responded, "Happy birthday, Gideon."
Really?
From their official Twitter page.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Who said
Pretty big
that,
deal.
You couldn't make it big in this world.
Listen,
Yeah.
mission accomplished.
So anyway,
He's the most famous person in your family.
yeah. I
Yeah, that checks out.
So that was fun. That was just, and it just made me so
Yeah.
happy. I actually found a couple people that agreed with me.
Yeah.
A couple people were like, and one guy was like, I work for Chick-fil-A and I low key agree with you. Which made another friend of mine who works for Chick-fil-A, he's a manager for Chick-fil-A, Zach Caven. I want to have Zach on the show one day. Zach is a really funny guy. And he was pretty upset about that.
Yeah.
He was up in arms.
Do they work at the same Chick-fil-A?
I don't
Do
think
they
so.
know each other?
Yeah, they do
Yeah.
know each other.
Well, if either of them come on, make sure they bring Chick-fil-A. Because I'm a big Chick-fil-A fan. I just like the sauce. If I'm being honest,
You can buy the sauce at the store.
I do. I know, Dan.
Who am I talking to?
Yeah, come on.
I just love the other day. I said Chick-fil-A has funnel, or I said KFC has funnel fries, and Jesse's all like, "Yeah, they're okay." Like
I've had them all. Yours is okay.
then I can just assume. And Jesse's like, "I don't even like KFC," but they came out with funnel fries yesterday, and he's tried them a couple times, and they're all right.
Yeah,
They're better in the morning.
I was gonna say their breakfast batch is better than their lunch batch because in reality their lunch batch is just
their
the
breakfast
leftover
batch.
from the
Yeah, sure.
breakfast
Well,
batch.
you would know. Far be it from me to tell you your own business. So anyway, so that was a lot of fun. So
Yeah. And I think everybody agrees Lee's chicken is better than both.
Oh, yeah.
I actually don't agree
Well,
with that, but
What?
that's fine.
Controversial.
Have you had the
Have I told the Lee's Chicken story before?
I don't know.
We were at Lee's Chicken. This is years ago. It took Erica like 5 years before she would eat Lee's Chicken again.
Yeah.
And this is so funny. She goes,
First of all,
So-
is Lee's Chicken a chain or is it just...
it is a chain.
Okay.
Is it?
Yeah, I've seen them in other cities.
Okay.
So so we're at Lee's Chicken, and we ordered our chicken, and I don't remember the exact details of the event, but they were being ridiculous,
Yeah.
and we're there at the the drive-in talking to the lady, and I'm trying to get something, I don't know, whatever it was. And she goes, I'm sorry, we're just really busy right now. And Erica looked at her and she goes, I'm your busy. And so every time I saw Chick-fil-A for like, every time I go,
Lee's Chicken.
I'm your busy. Oh yeah, Lee's Chicken. I'm your busy. Which was such like cutting straight through the bull crap. Be like, I'm right in front of you. You know what I mean? Like, what could be more important than the person that's in front
What do
of
you
you?
got going on back here?
Yeah.
I'm your busy. I just,
Like,
that
are you busy filling out your taxes?
I don't know what
or-
it was, but that was, I'm
They
your
have
busy.
a side daycare business in the restaurant. You know,
I like Lee's Chicken. I like their Chipotle Ranch.
Oh, it's pretty good.
Their
Yeah.
Chipotle Ranch is pretty good.
Dude, they're gizzards. Oh, that's my thing. Dude, I'll get a whole big thing of gizzards and just
That checks out.
destroy them.
That checks out. So anyway, in the chicken wars, you're a Lee's Chicken guy. You're a Chick-fil-A guy.
Well, Zaxby's. So when we went on vacation,
Oh, I've
we
heard
had
good things about Zaxby's.
Now, what I'll say about Zaxby's
Please.
is it's basically like, what's the one in Columbus that everyone goes to?
Raising
Hot Chicken
Cane's.
Cane.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
Raising Cane's.
Yeah.
It's basically Raising Cane's, but I think it's just a skosh better.
I love Hot Chicken Takeover. It's really good. It's a Columbus, I think, Ohio thing.
Quaker Steak and Lube.
I've been there.
That's good.
I thought it was a mechanic shop for years, and that's why I didn't go in.
Yeah, why does it smell so
So,
good outside of this place?
Yeah. So anyway, so we could, you could talk about the
I've got lots of
X
stuff.
comments.
I got lots of X stuff.
I mean, I do have to talk about my day the other day as well.
So what do you want to do? Do you want to do the X stuff first?
Yeah, let's do the X stuff first.
And remind me, I got beef with your guys' last episode that I wasn't on. We'll touch on
Wasn't
it
that
later.
like 3 weeks ago?
I don't know.
You were here last week, right?
No, he wasn't here last
Oh.
week. That's when the Trump was getting arrested and he was commenting on.
Oh,
a
yeah,
thing.
that's right. Like
Yeah.
from somewhere else, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So
We'll get to it.
Yeah.
about an hour ago, I said we're recording in 60 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
What topics would you like us to tackle? And we actually had quite a few.
All right. Okay.
So Lynette Miller said, where can I listen? So obviously she's
No.
new.
Well, if you're listening, Lynette Miller, welcome.
Lynette, you can listen in your living room. You could listen
In your
Mount
car?
Rushmore.
in your car. Oh, Mount
Oh,
Rushmore,
okay, here we
places
go.
to listen
Places
to
to
Lauer
listen to,
Radio.
yeah.
I would say car
Cars,
Yeah.
the George Washington.
on the walk.
Yeah, dog walk.
While you're working,
In the house.
I think we're missing an obvious one.
What?
At Mount Rushmore, the real Mount Rushmore.
Listen, one of these days we do need to do a show at Mount Rushmore with Mount Rushmore behind us.
Yes. Yeah.
And then we
could-
should do the Mount Rushmore of U.S. monuments and not put that on it. Like, just a total burn.
Okay, so a couple others here. Phoenix Mama.
Ooh,
Phoenix Mama said,
good name.
she said, why can't I go a single day without seeing the crazy plane lady? You know that lady, right?
Yo. And listen, she might not be crazy.
Well, first of all, he's not on social media.
Yeah.
He doesn't understand.
Well, I'm not
this.
either, but
Yeah, so, I mean, she's all over.
But you're on something.
I listen to podcasts.
You're on nicotine is what you're on.
I'm nicked up, man.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. So her name is Tiffany Gomez. Okay.
The
And
plane lady?
The plane lady. They found her.
She's just like normal. She's not like extravagant.
Wow.
She's
Yeah.
just plain.
Well, no, she's probably slightly above plane.
PLANE or PLAIN?
Yeah, she's the plane.
Like plane. Plane. Okay. All right.
Anyways,
Now I'm with you.
she's going to fade out. Phoenix Mama, don't worry. She's fading out.
Okay.
Next. Carol Remarks.
Remarking.
She's remarking. And she
Isn't
said-
that the lady from that like Netflix documentary about
Uh-huh.
that guy with tigers and stuff?
Yep, that's her.
Okay.
Carol Baskin.
That's her.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
That's her. She goes by Carol Remarks.
Okay.
So she says, "Are you ready for fall and some football?" but she goes on. She goes, "Mount Rushmore of fall fragrances."
Oh,
Oh,
I
but
thought
we've
this was-
done a lot of fall Mount Rushmores, but I don't think this is one that we have done.
I think it's new. I think
Okay.
this is new.
Man, I
hold
just
on, are we
feel
talking
like
fragrances like candles that you would light in your home?
Anything you smell,
smells in the fall.
fall smells.
Now, I feel like, and I don't even know what to say exactly, but that outside fall is a smell in itself. Like
That's
there's,
just Marion. That's just
I feel like
Cow manure that's spread on the fields.
I feel like you go outside for a walk in the woods during the fall. It has a different smell, and I don't know what that smell is.
Yeah.
decomposing dead animals from the previous.
Maybe I don't know, but
I
that's
don't-
I
it does
do
have
like.
a smell, but
Okay.
let's set that on the back burner.
All right, okay.
Okay, I'm gonna say like campfire.
You ever seen a candle that said it was like the flavor of candle? You ever seen that before? They're
Flavor?
Like, yeah,
like you taste it?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I just think it's a bad word to use. So anyway, campfire.
Campfire, I think for sure, because you don't do campfires in the summer; it's too hot.
Yeah.
Okay, it can currently sit on there. We might find better ones, Jason.
Pumpkin spice.
Pumpkin spice.
I mean, even if you're not a pumpkin spice basic white girl,
Yeah.
even if
Stella?
you're not,
No, she's not.
she's like,
She's just not giving me anything today.
No,
she could not be less interested in being here.
She woke
Yeah.
up 5 minutes ago, and we left 10 minutes.
And she woke up
Yeah.
to my face plastered against your van window.
Yeah.
So, sorry.
Okay, so pumpkin spice, campfire.
For now.
Yeah, what else we got?
Apple cinnamon.
Yeah,
Apple cinnamon's a big one.
Yeah, that is a big one.
Now, does that fall into your Christmas category?
There's overlap.
Oh, there's definitely overlap.
There can be overlap, but I feel like apple cinnamon, like apple cider, is
Yeah,
a fall thing.
that's true.
You know,
Yeah.
What's a apple cider?
so I feel like it's there. I love apple cider. Apple cider, hot apple cider
Yeah.
in the fall on a crisp, cold fall day outside with some apple cider.
With a dash of whiskey.
Okay, I've never had that.
And
we put
nicotine.
yeah, we put the hot little cinnamon candies in it. You ever done that before?
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Yeah, that's heaven right there. Just
Yeah.
give me a scarf, you know, and
Good flannel.
flannel
Good
and a
flannel.
scarf, you know, in a glove without the like a
Mittens?
homeless
Oh,
person glove. You know what I mean? Where
Oh,
the
the
fingers
finger,
are popped
yeah.
through.
That you took from the homeless person?
Where else would you get them?
Yeah.
Like, do you like the kind where the mitten goes over the fingers? You can expose
I
the
used to
fingers?
have a pair of those,
Yeah.
and they finally kind of crapped out. I need a new pair of those. I like those.
Those
a
are
lot
good.
because they're good for the phone too.
Yeah.
I have a pair of gloves that's like this, says the finger can be used on. It can't.
It doesn't work.
No, especially with fat fingers. It's just it's pointless.
Okay, we got. Is that it, or do we got one more?
No, I think we got one more.
Smell of fall. Is there like football? Is there like a football smell?
Campfire. Would you also put maybe grilling out, like the smell of grills? Like I've been
I think
smoking
that's
a lot of meat.
spring, summer, smoking meat all year long, obviously. But I feel like that's more associated with spring and summer. The barbecue. I feel like, but is there a foot? I feel like there's a Friday night football smell. Football Friday night. Football Friday night. You know what that is? You don't know what that is.
It's before his time.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, I feel like there's a Friday night football smell, and I don't even know what it is. But I feel
we
like
could just
if
call
you could,
it the Friday night football smell
Yeah,
because
let's just
everyone
do
knows
that.
what we're talking about.
yeah, right. But there is a smell,
Oh,
right?
yeah. Yeah,
Stella.
there's a smell.
Okay. If you could make a football Friday night candle,
Yeah.
I would buy that.
I would buy that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's it.
Okay.
It's apple cinnamon, pumpkin spice, bonfire, and football Friday night.
All right. I
Okay.
feel like we're missing something.
I'm
but-
sure we are.
Okay.
Comment in the section below and tell us what we missed.
All right.
There,
Okay.
there is a Friday Night Lights football candle that you can buy on Amazon.
There it is.
How much?
Oh, probably $70. My
What?
gosh,
We're in the wrong market.
No joke.
Use Lauer Road Radio checkout.
Yeah.
We
on
get 10%
Amazon.
of that. Yeah. Okay, so next, at Geeky Guy 98 says, missing your info czar and how great I am. The Mount Rushmore of great things Preston does.
Goes away and never comes back. That's it. That's the Mount Rushmore. Goes away, doesn't come back, doesn't actually look stuff up when we need him to, and is really judgy when I fart in studio.
Yeah, why do you hate Preston?
I just listed 4 things.
Okay, next. Rowdy Introvert.
Whoa.
Rowdy Introvert says, if you try to fail and succeed, which have you done?
If you succeed at failing, I feel like you've succeeded.
But
It's
you
a
failed.
success.
I think that's a success.
But you failed.
Yeah, but you've successfully failed.
So if we just go into every situation trying to fail, then we're never a failure. We're always a success.
Correct.
Wish I'd have known that while my parents were still alive. They just always saw me as a failure. And could have
you
been like,
succeeded.
well, I succeed. Yeah, but I wasn't trying.
Yeah, well, that's even better.
Good point.
Okay.
Maybe you're such a loser that if you tried to fail, you would accidentally
I would have
succeed.
been Jeff Bezos.
He'd been ripped with $1 billion in his bank account.
It's like, oh, I'm just trying to fail. I suck at it.
I'll write a book on that one day.
All right.
Okay, next. At PP Steve 1313.
Okay.
That's his.
All right.
Hey,
That's where
you
he's
know,
at
you gotta
on,
pick
on
your-
the X. The Indians landing on the moon. That
What?
footage is sketchy as Bollywood.
In the Indians
Yeah, I think the Gandhi not setting bull.
Hindu. Oh,
Yeah, those guys landed on the moon, and it was
recently.
yeah, but it wasn't like people. It was like it was.
You saying the Indians aren't people?
No,
this is a really good segue into my beef with you guys from last
Because we did the
episode.
Mount Rushmore of races.
indigenous people.
So I didn't listen.
I actually have a beef. How can you?
Then how-
because I was going to, and then Savannah was like, "Man, you should have heard last episode. So was it good?" And she's like, "Yeah, it was super racist." And I was like, "Every time I'm on the show and I'm about to say something racist, they stop me."
It wasn't racist. We
Can
did
I-
the Mount Rushmore of races.
Can I? On the Mount Rushmore of races, it was a huge oversight.
What'd we miss?
The Jews. We didn't talk about them once. And they're
They're the George Washington.
they're chosen people. I was embarrassed when I was listening to it.
Oh, that's a major oversight.
I know.
How'd we
Oh,
miss
what an
that?
idiot.
I was like right there,
Well, if you guys would let me in on those kind of conversations.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, so next, the boy Blob.
Man, these are great X handles.
Yeah, the boy Blob. He's pretty good. I go back and forth with him a couple times. He says, "What is love? How does that work?"
Baby, don't hurt me.
Don't hurt me no more.
What is love?
Yeah, what is love?
Love is a human concept that we have created so that the species can advance and we don't kill one another.
That checks out.
Sure.
But, that's just me. I'm a romantic.
It's the thing that makes us not kill each other.
Because otherwise,
We'd all be dead.
it'd be like, like if I didn't love my kids,
Yeah,
what do I got?
they would have starved years
Years ago, I'd have been like, I don't, like, you're contributing nothing to this relationship. But they contribute love. So,
Do they?
honestly.
Okay, so that's all the tweets, the X's that we got for the
Okay,
week.
good. I did have an eventful week. So first of all, I have been running a lot lately. For me, other people will be like, I don't know, that's not a lot, but for me, I've been running a lot, and
Like on purpose.
on purpose. Yeah,
Okay.
on purpose, and been trying to get in shape and trying to. My goal has been to run a sub 30, which is just ridiculous. That's like
a
hard.
sub 30 what?
5K.
Oh, I thought you meant sub 30 mile. I'm like, that's not,
No.
I can walk
No,
that.
a sub 30.
Hey. Cool it.
Calm down. A sub 30 5K has been my goal. My personal record so far is 31:30 or something like
What's
that.
the best time you ever ran, including high school?
Just
5K.
just under 20 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
so
you'll never get back there.
I don't think so. But I think I can get to like 25 or below if I work really hard.
Yeah.
And so I've been when I first went out to run, I hadn't run like on purpose since like I don't know, I was like 20.
Yeah.
And so I went to the track at Harding and I couldn't make it around the one lap. And I was like, breathe in heavy. I was like, this is bad. And then I would just try to walk and run. And I got to the point where I could run and then I could run further. And I checked on my watch, my first timed 5K was 39 minutes.
Okay.
That was my first timed 5K, and I'm down to 31 minutes. So I'm really working on it. And there's a friend of the show, Carl, who we've talked about, who's annoying because he runs Ironman. I mean, he's like fast and like it's ridiculous. And he's really annoying because of that. So anyway,
And he's older than you?
no, he's like basically my age. That's
Okay.
that's the worst part about it. Because I was
Yeah.
like, if he was like super fast, but he's like, yeah, you're 10 years younger than me, guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he's like basically my age. So he's a little bit younger, but not enough that it really matters.
Yeah,
I mean,
I gotcha.
when he's my age, he's not going to be like me, So anyway, but Carl and I, we're friends. And, one of the things he told me, he said, one of the reasons I work out is because I always have another event to train for. Like he did this years ago. He signed up for like a half marathon and then he started signing up for marathons and then these triathlons because he knew if I've got this on the calendar, like it's going to give me the motivation. I need a carrot, on the end of the stick. So we had been talking about that for a while. And then he texted me and said, hey, just so you know, I signed you up for a half marathon in April.
What a jerk, man.
Yeah. And he's like, you don't have to do it. And I was like, no, I want to do it. That's like a good, it's on my thing. I have a countdown. It's 212 days away
Okay.
from today. And so after I'm like, okay, I'm really going to kick it into gear. And I found this thing because what you talked about last week, the Suicide Prevention Month is September.
Yeah.
And they're doing this thing where it's like run like 100 miles in September as like I don't know, a thing. And I was like, I think I could almost pull that off. I'll try. And so I really started kind of like ramping up my runs. I went on a 6-mile run, and the next day I went on a 4-mile run. And then whatever Tuesday or whatever day that was, Eric and I were working on the house and doing some stuff, and I'm walking around, and I have a feeling in my knee. And that feeling in my knee, it felt like I had been working on my knee, like I had been pressed up against the ground or something, and there was like pressure on it.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's weird. And I looked down, and I'm not even joking, Jason. It looked like there was a tennis ball coming out of my knee. Like it was disgusting.
Yeah.
And I was like
a big ball.
there was a big ball, and it was squishy.
Oh.
And I was like,
Did you have shorts on or jeans? What pants?
why's it got to be one of those?
Underwear? Boxers?
Maybe.
No, I had shorts on.
Okay.
So I had shorts on, and I looked down, and I was like, Erica, something's wrong. And she was like, oh my gosh.
Dan, what did you do?
And I showed Abby, and she's like, oh. It was disgusting.
Did you say, bring me a needle?
Well, that was my first thought.
Yeah, that's what I would have
So
done.
I said, and it happened so fast. That was the thing. It's not like, and here's the thing, this whole time that I've been running, I've never had knee pain. I've had hip pain. I've had feet pain. I've had heart pain.
Emotional pain.
Emotional pain. But my knees have never hurt.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is going on? You know, it
That's
happened
probably
so
the
fast.
extra 100 pounds.
Well, that's part of it. So but it happened so fast.
Yeah.
That it was like nothing, and then all of a sudden I looked down and there's a tennis ball coming out of my knee, and I was like, oh man. So I was like, I better go to urgent care because for all I know, there's like some weird infection that's flaring up that needs to be taken care of, and if I go to bed, I'll wake up and it'll be twice as big and something, So I went to urgent care, and they're like, we can't help you. And I was like, what are you even here for? They're like, well, it probably needs to be, they said it might need to be drained, but we can't do that here. So you should go to the emergency room. So I was like, okay, great. Now I got to go to the emergency room.
Did urgent care charge you money?
No.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. I might find out that they did.
Well, they better
Well,
not.
all I did
If
was
they can't
talk to
treat you.
Well, I didn't even go in
Oh.
because when I just talked to the lady that takes you at the desk and stuff, and I showed it to her.
Yeah.
And she was like, "What are you here for?" And she was like, and I was like, "Well," and I stood up, and she looked at my ankles. She's like, "Well, I don't see the." Oh gosh.
What the?
She's like, I've been here for a long time and I've never seen anything like that. So, and I was like, I don't even know, is this something you can do? And she's like, well, we're not really supposed to do this, but let me go get the doctor. And and so the doctor came out, and then she was like, well, we're not going to do anything to it. You should go to the emergency room.
Did I tell you my last urgent care visit?
Yeah.
I think I told you. Because it's been 6 years ago now. I go up to the counter. I lay my hand on the counter, and there's blood everywhere.
Because you chopped your
chainsaw.
Yeah, chainsaw.
I
accident.
clipped my hand with a chainsaw, and it tore up my hand. I mean, it ripped apart the skin. It looked way worse than what it really was.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just fine, but it's not a clean cut. A chainsaw,
Oh yeah.
like rips.
It's like hamburger.
And so I put my hand on the counter, it was all bleeding and stuff, and she didn't have me sign any papers. She didn't check my name. She come back here.
Oh, yeah.
And I went to the back, and they started dressing me up immediately.
Nice.
And then I went and signed all
That's
this
how
stuff.
you
like
do
that.
it.
That's when
And there's
when they're done, you just walk out. Don't give them your name.
the
or
whole
anything.
waiting room. I mean, it was packed full, and they all gave me the evil eye.
Yeah,
'Cause I got instant
Well, I
access.
had a chainsaw attack me, so I'm like, okay, well, I better go because I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
To my knee,
It's
And
scary.
Here's the thing: it doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
There's like no pain, you
Right.
know. So I go to the waiting room at the emergency room. I don't know the last time you've been there.
At the emergency room.
Emergency
Yeah,
room,
yeah.
waiting room. It's
In Marion.
Yeah, they should make a TV show that's based there. There are some characters. I'm not gonna lie. And so. And I realized, this is in conjunction to like a few days later, I had just visited our grandpa at the hospital.
Yeah.
And I just observing him with all of the doctors and nurses, the way that he is with all of them.
You didn't want to give your last name.
And yeah, I know, right? And so I'm sitting there, and the nurse is taking my information. And she goes, she's asking me questions and stuff. And she goes, okay, and do you know about how tall you are? And what did I say?
6 foot.
No.
No.
You want to guess what I said?
I don't
I just said what Grandpa would have said. And I didn't realize it until I said it.
Yeah.
When she said, do you know about how tall you are? I said, yep. Yes, I do.
Well, how tall are you?
Yeah. And then she's
Yeah.
like, and she looked over at me. She's like, could you tell me how tall you are?
What a jerk.
I know. And then that's when after our work,
Like,
after
I'm sorry. It's my grandpa.
it's my DNA.
It's in my blood.
I can't fight it. It is what it is.
That's
you
what,
know,
when she asks you, well, can you tell me? Nope.
Grandpa, every single nurse that came in, they were all so nice to him, and they all like him, you know, but they were all so nice, and they would be like, well, what do you want to do? And he's like, listen, I signed something when I got here that said anytime the hospital makes a decision that I have to abide by it. So you tell me, that was what he said every single time.
Listen, he comes across as mean. He's not.
He's
He has a good heart.
They actually, all the nurses there really like him.
Yeah.
He had a real hard time with his Indian doctor's name. Could not. There was like a 5-minute conversation. She's like, "My name is Padme," and he's like, "What? Padma. That was it. Padma. What?" She goes, "You can call me Pam." He's like, "I can do that. I can."
Okay, Pam.
I'm like, "Padma."
Okay, Pan.
Yeah.
I still can't get it right.
So I realized at the emergency room, like when I was there, I was like, it's strong with me, and you can't fight it.
The force is strong with you.
Yeah. So anyway, end of the story. They have no idea what's going on with my leg.
Did they prick it?
No, they. In fact, she gave me the. She wants me to set up an appointment with an orthopedic doctor because she said if we drained it, she said they would not be happy. They would want to do that. And she goes, nothing's so bad. There's no discoloration, no fever on it. She goes, we don't want to introduce something else to it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was thinking about doing that at home. And she's like, do not do that.
You're like, so definitely don't do that,
Yeah.
right?
Farmer Bob told me I could go to his barn and he'd lance it for me, So I don't know. But
I said he'd use the knife that's hanging up on the barn pole that he uses to neuter the hogs.
they cut the goiters off of the hogs with. He's like, So I did nothing. Some of the swelling has gone down, but when there's just this big sack of fluid on your knee, you just want to poke it. You know what I mean?
Listen, I could not poke it.
Yeah, it was.
I would totally poke it.
I wanted to.
Yeah.
I really. And we've done the Mount Rushmore of things to poke with a stick.
Yeah.
And I think a goiter might have made the list. I'm not sure.
Goiter?
There's a face you make. You know what I mean?
I think it's a kind of a
something's about ready to happen and you're not sure. So anyway,
a sewing needle would work.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to go on a run. I got a.
First of all,
did a lot
why
of
are you
research.
still running?
Well, I haven't run since I went to the doctor, but I'm gonna try to run tomorrow because most of the swelling's gone down. I did some research. I have a compression knee brace that's coming in the mail tomorrow.
Is it copper?
And
Is it the copper
No,
fit?
but there's carbon
it's not
fiber
gonna work
in
then.
it. I know. I'm
The
just going to
copper,
put
you
some
have to have the
pennies in it.
copper.
So I'm just going to stuff some pennies underneath it. I forgot that's the same thing, probably. So
It swells up. You go to the doctor. They go to pull it off, and pennies just go flying out of the plane.
I know.
Listen, I got the copper.
I don't need all that fancy stuff. So,
They stopped using copper and pennies years ago.
sir, that is poisoning you.
He's just got little green spots all over his knee where they've like rusted into him.
So no, I did some research, and the knee brace that I got, I feel really good about. I had a lot of positive reviews. I think it's going to help. I'm going to go on a run tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. But
Does it have the hole in the knee cap?
no, I don't
It's just
think
a straight
I don't think I
compression.
want that because I want the compression on it. Like
Yeah.
I needed. They had those too, but this one is just like a sleeve that goes over your leg, and it compresses it, and that's what they gave me. They actually wrapped it, and that did help. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
We'll
think
see what happens.
I just canceled that half marathon.
I know. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it.
You know, when you told me about how Carl trains, and he's like, well, I know if I have it scheduled, I'm going to have to train for it. I would just know that I'm going to cancel my registration the day before the marathon.
Well, Jesse, there are a few differences between you and Carl.
A couple 100 pounds. Yeah.
Self-control.
Fair. Fair.
Like an awareness of the moment. You know what I mean? That you don't have. Like a self-awareness. You don't know how you come across to people. Like Carl's very aware of that in a way that you are not.
Yeah. He's also got a pretty decent beard.
He's got a good beard
Yeah.
when he wants it, except for when he's about ready to go on a race. Then he shaves it off, and it's like, ugh. It scares me.
Carl.
Carl. That's a good name to say.
Carl.
Like to be shocked.
Yeah.
You know. All right.
Okay.
Carl.
You hit the Netflix.
We're gonna do Netflix. Is that what we're doing
We're
now?
half an hour into it.
All right. Let's do it.
Netflix, watch these shows with us. Netflix, or maybe Hulu Plus. Netflix, watch these shows with us. Netflix, or maybe Hulu Plus. Or maybe Amazon Prime or something like that, like YouTube. We don't want to put a box
Jason.
around what you watch, so you never know.
What is your Netflix suggestion of the week?
My Netflix suggestion of the week is found on Netflix. It is not family friendly.
Okay.
I would not watch it with the kids around.
All right.
Black Mirror. So
That's your phone when it's off.
that is true. Yeah.
That's why it's called Black Mirror.
Okay. I don't know, but yeah, your screensaver popped up. So, it's I watched season 1. There's like 6 seasons out there, and it's kind of like a Twilight Zone alternate reality, and
I think it's pretty popular.
it's very popular. And like I said, apart from the stuff that wasn't family friendly, it was very good. I like the alternate world, alternate
you're
reality.
A big alternate
Big
reality. Because you
alternate.
don't like this reality.
I don't like the real world. I like
So
the
you're trying to
alternate.
escape.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
That's why he lives on X.
Yeah.
Yeah, 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
Which is, listen, Blob Boy is on X probably 16 hours a day.
That's why he's a blob.
What's the name of the kid that's always got the new drip that does his little videos? He's like, whoa. That guy, what's his name?
Wish you could be fly like me.
I like that guy.
I don't know his name.
I'd
but
love to have
yeah.
him on the show.
The dude with the hat. He's always got these cool
It's
hats.
like, oh, ho, ho, keep your ladies from me. Oh,
I got all the drip skis.
He's like kind of chunky, and his
Yeah.
clothes never actually look that good, but he's very proud of them. And they're like little 20-second videos. They always make me happy.
Yeah.
He just loves himself. It's that kind of positivity.
My algorithm and your algorithm are synced up.
They're starting to come together, and because it's the shoe guy,
Yeah.
and it's that, you know.
Yeah.
So
You guys still haven't got the goats yet, have
the
you?
goats still have not come across
The
mine.
goats?
Yeah,
The goats that clear like ditches and stuff. They bring in like 1,000 goats
that's
and
not
clear.
on, that's not on our algorithm.
It's on mine. I see it all the time.
He just watches endless videos of goats eating grass
Yeah,
and ditches.
it's
Oh.
great. It's actually pretty good. It's very satisfying.
How about pipes clearing? Have you watched?
I don't do the pipe
Well,
clearing.
listen, I love to see a pipe clear. You know, when that tire goes through it, and all
And
of a
the
sudden
drainage,
the mud
yeah.
comes out, and then the water flows.
Listen,
it's like
have
so
I seen
satisfying.
it? I've seen it.
Yeah,
It's just not in my feed.
Yeah.
It's all
What about
goats.
like pimple popping videos?
I had a big phase into that one time.
Yeah.
I watched them all.
Yeah. Well, you had an opportunity to do it
I know.
Oh,
with
yeah.
your knee.
Oh, I could have been famous.
You could have recorded that.
There would have been like a pint of fluid that would have come out of my knee.
It would have
just-
been like white goo.
I don't know what it would have been. She said it was not blood. She could tell it wasn't blood.
Then I
was
would
like,
have poked
"That's-
it."
That's good.
Yeah.
I was like, what else could it be? What
Is
other-
it urine?
I was like, what other fluids do I have? Is it bile?
What? Okay, yeah, sure.
Mount Rushmore fluids? No.
No. I mean, I would love it, but I
Bodily
know.
fluids.
Yeah, Mount Rushmore bodily fluids. We don't need to do that.
Okay. We'll save that. for
Saliva,
No,
stop.
no, stop.
earwax.
Earwax.
Is that fluid?
No, that's
Sometimes
It's
I don't know.
gelatinous.
gelatinous.
Listen, I know how to pronounce that word. I've been called it a few times.
If your earwax is liquid, you got a problem
I don't have earwax. I clean my ears 4 times a day.
with your
And it's
pinky.
not a joke.
It's not good for you. My Netflix suggestion of the week is found on Apple TV Plus.
Foundation.
No, but I watched the first season.
Yeah, I did too.
So
The second one is out, I think.
yeah, it is. It is like Neil Patrick Harris. Out.
Oh, I was gonna do the whole gay thing,
Yeah.
but then
No, it's the same joke.
I know.
It's just
That's why
worded.
Mine
I
was
didn't do
just,
it.
you know,
little more
More
subtle.
subtle.
Little that's another thing Carl understands that you don't
Carl
understand.
is the definition of subtle.
Subtlety, yeah. He's living in that
He can walk in a
subtle
room and
pocket.
no one knows.
Uh-huh, yeah.
It's not a bad thing.
We all know when you walk in a room.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, anyway. It's
What's
found
your-
on Apple
yeah.
TV Plus.
Okay.
And it is, in another life, Jason, I had another podcast.
I remember this. I was on it.
You were on it.
Yeah.
As yourself and as someone else.
Yeah.
And it was called the 99 Lives podcast with me and my friend Matt Neff. And it was, could have been great, but Matt's a quitter. So,
Where can we find it?
I don't know that you can, I'd have to,
It's still out
Where'd
there.
you put it?
Is it?
What'd you put it on?
I don't know. Matt was in charge of all of that.
Just
It
Google
was
99
highly
lives.
edited.
Oh, yeah. The
So-
couple times I went on, he wiped half of it.
Yeah, no, he didn't like any of your stuff. So,
And this whole thing about Tetris.
he liked it, but like he was like, no, we can't
He
post
laughed in the moment.
Oh,
and it
he was
all
cracking
clipped,
up.
Yeah, it was all
Yeah.
clipped up.
Did
So-
you talk about games?
Matt is a huge gamer.
Okay. Oh.
So
There's
that's
an 8-bit logo.
Yeah.
It's a heart.
I actually still have this T-shirt. So anyway,
Sorry.
on that podcast, we had a guy
Why
named.
don't we have a T-shirt?
I'm not gonna wear it, but like,
Listen, I just had some T-shirts made locally. I can have some made.
why
for
are you
us.
having T-shirts made?
A dog grooming thing?
Oh, okay.
We had an event.
I don't know why I asked. Anyway,
Me neither. I was disinterested.
I was like, why am I even saying
Yes.
this? So on that show, did you find it?
I found it.
Okay.
Okay.
On that show, we had a guy named Gabe Pyle on. Gabe is a really creative, funny guy. He actually wrote a book, a children's book that was really good. And his brother's name is Nathan Pyle. Now, have you seen the Strange Planet comic?
Yeah.
You know who Nathan Pyle
Yeah.
is. So I know his brother pretty well.
Oh.
Matt actually knows Nathan Pyle. Like Matt,
Okay.
visited him in New York. He talks to him sometimes
Is
on
it
the phone.
the alien stuff?
Yeah, it's the alien
Yeah,
stuff.
I see that all the time.
So like Matt's friends with him.
Okay.
And I know his brother, Gabe. Gabe is a really good guy, and it's a good family. And Nathan, these alien comics are really funny.
Yeah.
Well, now there's an Apple TV Plus show
Okay.
called Strange Planet, and it's based around that.
Okay.
And he's like the head of it. It's him and Dan Harmon do it together,
Okay.
and it's very funny. Like
Can
it's
we get him on?
it's very family friendly. Nathan Pyle.
Yeah.
I
Make some calls.
maybe we could get him on. Like I mean, he's probably in more demand now than he was because of this show.
We're a friend of a friend.
I mean, I know his son. His son. I know his brother.
So call his brother.
Sometimes-
Hey, dude, get your brother on.
I know. Well, I'd actually like to have his Gabe on. Gabe is really funny.
So
and-
let's
and
have
creative.
Gabe on.
Nah, see, that's
first,
not.
and
yeah,
then we'll
no,
slide.
no, I'm not about that. Anyway, but Strange Planet.
That's how I think.
I know
play
that's how you
3D
think.
chess.
I know that's how you think. You're like Data. So, I'm like Chief O'Brien.
We had Ray Grogan on just so that we could eventually get to Donald Trump.
It's like one leads to the other. So there might come a day where Donald might come on the podcast.
Dude, I think we could get Vivek on the podcast
I
right now.
sent him a message today.
We should
Oh,
spam
really?
him.
He's from Ohio.
I'd love to
Yeah.
have Vivek on. I'd go to wherever he is.
It's Vivek, like cake.
Vivek.
Yeah. His wife is a surgeon in Columbus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know.
Maybe
just
we
go
should
get
have.
some-
I think they might have a house in Columbus. To be honest with you,
I think they do.
I think they do.
Yeah.
So we'll go to you. We'll go to the New Albany Library. We'll set up again. So the Vivek Lake Cake. Anyway, so
Sorry.
the show is called
Nathan Pyle.
This show is called Strange Planet. I think is the name of the
Yeah.
show, and it's very funny.
Cartoon.
It's a cartoon.
Okay.
It's family friendly. It's very funny. Like the way that they say things is like, well, if you've seen the comic strip, you get the joke. That like they don't use the correct words for things, and I just can't remember any of the examples right now. Instead of a plane, they'll call it a flying transportation device.
Right. Or instead of a cat, like a hairy mammal.
Yeah, I'm so stupid I can't think of any
Yeah.
of the examples, but it's very funny.
Yeah.
You actually like have to super pay attention to it
Yeah.
because about every 5 seconds there's another joke that like it's
Okay.
like bam, bam, bam.
I think Shelby will like that.
Yeah, it's very funny.
Yeah.
Very creative, and it's called Strange Planet. It's an Apple TV Plus, and that's my Netflix suggestion of the week.
Okay. Jesse, do you have anything?
I do. We have been continuing with our binging of the one I told you about a couple weeks ago, Can't remember the name, but I started watching it. I watched this documentary called Fantastic Fungi. It's on Netflix.
I've seen
It's
it.
all about shrooms,
And I'm all for it until they get to the weird evolution
and
stuff.
And they wait until like kind of
I
the
know.
end to like mix that in. And
I know.
like I was watching it, I was like, oh, this is really good. I was nicked up.
Yeah.
And Savannah was like, oh, okay, yeah, this is interesting. And then all of a sudden they start to get to like
Jesse, just so everybody understands, Jesse heard one guy on one podcast say that nicotine has some benefits.
he said it had a lot of benefits.
And then he went from there to like he's wearing 3 patches, chewing nicotine gum. He's also got the nicotine pouches in his mouth. He's like, he is so loaded up because he heard one dude say, well, there actually are some. He's like, okay,
It's not as bad as what the doctors say. Sign me up.
Listen, we'll talk about it later.
Jesse's got all sorts of
Anyway,
information for you.
And they kept calling it fungi or
Yeah.
fungi. And I'm like, that's not.
That's the
I feel like-
British thing.
Well, they weren't British. I
Oh.
think they were just doing it to be like, different and cool. Like, oh, it's not mushrooms, it's fungi.
What bothered me was once they got to the evolution thing, they just flat out said. They weren't like, who knows, maybe this could have happened. They were like 100% monkeys started eating psychedelic mushrooms. It opened up their brains. And, a million years later, we're walking on the moon.
Here we are. they literally, like he says this, like they literally were like, and we also all evolved from mushrooms too. It was like everything. It was like
You can't
mushrooms are the
disprove that.
No, when you can't. I
can't disprove it.
Can't disprove it.
But they were definitive.
They were so definitive. There was like, this is what happened.
Are
I'm
you
like,
telling me a
come
monkey
on.
never did a mushroom?
A monkey 100% did a mushroom. I saw a video of a bear eating mushrooms. And it was hilarious.
Did you ever see the one where the panther got a hold of some?
Oh, no.
And it's just laying on the ground like, oh.
Yeah. So I know that happens.
That's
but
the beginning of Thundercats.
I know you can't definitively prove that it didn't happen, but you definitely cannot definitively prove that it did.
I'm gonna remain
happen.
agnostic on the subject.
That's fine.
You can't prove or disprove.
They
it.
are not agnostic
Yeah.
on it.
They're
They would
definitive.
say that you are an apostate heretic of the mushroom religion.
Yeah. They are.
Listen, I'm open to the mushrooms. Mm-hmm. I've never done it, but
I'm on them right now.
What are those? What are
I'm
those,
mushroomed up.
What are those? It's like wait a minute. What are those one mushrooms that are in Ohio that are like morel mushrooms?
Morels.
Morels.
Yeah.
Those are supposed to be great, and I've never found them.
Expensive.
I'm nervous because I have a friend. They're like in their woods. They said they find morel mushrooms back there a lot, and then they could cook them up, and they're really good. I'm so nervous about eating a mushroom in the wild. It scares me to death.
Well, those ones are pretty. You know what they are.
I
when
know,
you see
but
'em.
still.
you don't.
I
know.
watched this documentary. I went out to the back of my property and found 7 different variations of mushrooms, and each of them I like licked a little bit, and I was like, I should probably look this up before I go all the way.
Lick it up?
Look it up. And I looked up all of them. None of them edible. So
Most
I was like, wow,
are
those
not.
guys.
Yeah.
So
it's a really incredible documentary.
It's interesting.
It's very interesting. And then once they get to that point, you're like, what are you even doing? Why do you have to do this? So, yeah.
So do you know?
There's a fungus among us.
I think marijuana is on the ballot in Ohio.
Marijuana?
Yeah.
It is.
I mean,
But it's like you can have so much with you and you can have like 5 plants or something like
That's
that.
the California
dude, I'm
law.
gonna be so weeded up.
And
Nicked
nicked up.
and
Weeded, nicked.
Is there nicotine in marijuana?
no.
No, you could probably lace it though. Business plan. It's a new stream of income, baby.
You got some new T-shirts coming.
Yeah.
I've been liking getting on Facebook Marketplace. I've had to buy a couple things lately, and the other day I come across this on Facebook Marketplace. Not a joke. There was the guy. It was 2 caskets. He was selling caskets.
Oh.
Here's the description: 2 caskets. Don't know nothing about them. Want to sell each for $150 or best offer.
Dude, that is a deal.
Guys, I don't know nothing about them, or if used, or not, or size. They were literally left in the property I bought. And no, I ain't going to lay in it for size.
Listen. As someone who just recently had to
Yeah.
buy a casket,
That's a good deal.
that's an incredible deal. That would have saved me like $14,000.
Guys, I don't know nothing about them, or if used or not, or size. They were literally left in the property I bought. And no, I ain't going to lay in it for size.
Is there a market for used caskets?
See, that's what I want to know. Because had I went planning the funeral for my parents,
Yeah.
it's been a year. I can talk about it a little
that's
bit. I
fine.
can, have some humor.
Yeah.
Had I went in to the planning session and he'd been like, all right, so here are the caskets that we have. And I'm like, man, no.
I got a guy.
I got them. I got some.
There's a guy on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, I ain't know nothing about them, and I ain't gonna lay in them. But I wonder if the funeral home would be like, all right.
They're a little small. Just stuff
It
them in.
looked a little sketch. I'm not going to lie. Like, even the picture was like,
How
Well, I
much?
mean, back in the day, it was a pine box, right? It just like
no. And
How much time do we have left on this on today's podcast?
well, nobody knows.
Because I have a guy that I can text right now and ask him.
not
No,
that.
we don't need to do that.
No.
So anyway, I saw that. It was just hilarious. And yeah, I want to talk about how we went to Goodwill and what Erica does every time we go to Goodwill to drop stuff off, but it's just too much. I can't really talk about it. Yeah, what do you think the chances what do you think the chances are that I actually run this half marathon? Percentage. Put a percentage on it.
10.
Now, I
do you say?
got faith. I'll take the other 90. I think you're going to run it. I think don't ask me to guess times or anything, but I think you're actually going to do it.
If my life depended on it, right now I could run it at a 12-minute clip. If my life depended
How
on it.
far is it?
So that'd
12
be-
miles?
Yeah, it's
13 something.
no, it's 13.1 or something like that.
And you're running 12 miles for 13 miles.
12 miles an hour. Yeah, I could do it.
What?
Yeah.
The show's over?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could do it right now. I could do that. But so you got a 10% chance because, there's a very good chance that this is the highest peak of physicality that
Yeah.
I'll get, and I'll just downslide again,
Yeah.
Both knees will swell
This is
up.
good. This is what I wanted to hear because the guy that you heard for your nicotine stuff, Andrew Huberman,
Yeah.
I was listening to him the other day, and he had this whole podcast on goal setting, which is really interesting, and how to reach your goals, and a lot of really good. He's a neuroscientist, very interesting guy. And he said that there is a myth when it comes to goal setting about accountability. In other words, like it's okay to have like a accountability part, like a person you run with.
But
or
you
someone,
need doubters too.
And they said, don't tell the whole world. And they said, don't tell people that believe in you because they'll be like, you're going to be like, hey, I'm going to run a marathon. They'll be like, yeah, man, you can do it. He said, you get a dopamine rush from that.
Right.
And he said, it actually lessens the chance that you'll actually do it. He said it's hard, but he said, because it's like, whatever, like you, it's hard to search out these people. He said, but what you want is you want to find somebody that doesn't think you can do it.
Yeah.
He said, actually, there's a higher chance. It's a better motivator with your brain is motivated better by doubters than by encouragers.
Having said that, I think you could drop 100 pounds.
I don't.
What a jerk. I could not drop 100 pounds.
I could.
You could.
Yes.
I'd pick it right back up.
The other day, I ran, and I've been running a lot.
Yeah.
I ran 6 miles.
Okay.
The next day, I was on the elliptical for an hour.
Yeah.
The next day, I woke up at 5 in the morning and ran 4.5 miles or something.
Nonsense.
The next
And
day, he had a tennis ball popping out of his knee.
And I felt great.
Yeah.
Like I was like, man, I feel good. I haven't had sugar in 2 weeks. Like I feel so good. And it's been 3 weeks since I got on the scale. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to weigh myself because, I'm feeling pretty good. Gained 2 pounds.
It's not worth it. Just enjoy life.
I'm not doing anything.
Enjoy life.
Yeah.
That's how I live.
That's probably good advice. All right, this is Dan.
Oh, whoa, hold on. Hey, all right, so a couple weeks ago, we had a listener. Who was it? What was her name? Danielle. Thank you, Danielle. She suggested that I get some more
She does
time.
the PR for our show.
She does?
Yeah.
She's wonderful. Never met her. But I was thinking about it. I was like, Danielle had a really good idea. I should have my own segment.
So it was-
I should have my own show, but
It wasn't a great idea.
it was a perfect idea.
We're going
I've
to
got
give
a
you
good
your own
idea.
segment.
Yes. Oh, boy, I'm asking now.
Yeah.
Sure.
I want to do a
Stella,
segment.
did you stop recording? Okay, go on.
I want to do.
Please,
the
please
camera's
go
not
on.
on me, Stella. What's going on? Okay, there we go. Come on, Stella. I want to do a segment called Jesse's Strong Opinions because I've got them, and I think that our Lauer Patch.
This
Kids,
is Dan signing off for Jason.
I think our Lauer Patch Kids would love to hear my strong
and
opinions.
we're going to institute.
already checked out.
We're going to institute
Me
that.
too.
That'll be a new segment.
and I will make sure. I promise you, I will be all nicked up for it.
Okay.
That's my new saying too, by the way.
Yep.
I can tell.
This is
yeah.
Dan signing off for Jason, reminding you to always keep your stick on the ice and never wear the blue sweats.
Sit, Bubba, sit. Good dog.
I have spoken.
Good night. Lauer Patch Kids, and especially you, again, Danielle.